This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by ICOM. Heard it, worked it, logged it. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information about ICOM radios.
It's Ham Radio.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live, episode number 254. The Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award nominations 2021, recorded live on Thursday, April 8th, 2021. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight, we're joined by Ham Radio's Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, and we'll take your calls live in just a few minutes. Last week here on the show, Jerry Buxton, N0JY, was here from AMSAT, talking about some of the latest news in satellite engineering. And if you missed that show, you can listen anytime at hamtalklive.com or on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. And remember, you can catch the rebroadcast of Ham Talk Live on WTWW. That's 5085 AM. And that's Saturday afternoons at about 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So get your questions ready to go. We'll talk to Don here in just a little bit. If you're listening to us live on Thursday night, you can give us a call later on in the show. I'll go ahead and give you the phone number so you have it handy. It's 859-982-7373. Again, the number we'll give out several times here tonight. It's 859-982-7373. You can also tweet us. It's at Ham Talk Live on Twitter. If you're on Spreaker, type in the comments and we'll have a little chat going in there. And I'll be back with Dawn right after this word from ICOM America right here on Ham Talk Live. The great outdoors is calling. Get outside and under the stars with one of ICOM's ultimate SDR transceivers. Stay connected while off the grid. The IC705 is the perfect transceiver for hams who enjoy both the great indoors and outdoors. It's the perfect QRP companion. This base station has features and functionality at the tip of your fingers in a portable package covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and just under 2 pounds. It has a 4.3-inch color touchscreen with live band scope and waterfall, 5 watts with a battery, 10 watts with a power supply. It runs AM, FM, CW sideband, full D-Star functions, and has integrated GPS, micro USB connector, Bluetooth, wireless LAN, and micro SD card slot, and the speaker mic comes standard. The perfect accessory for the IC705 is the optional backpack with a special compartment for your 705 and room for accessories. Visit the IC705 webpage to view those accessories and free software available for download. Or create your own band opening with the IC9700. This transceiver brings direct sampling to the UHF-VHF weak signal world. This all-mode transceiver is loaded with innovative features that are sure to keep you busy. With a 4.3-inch color touchscreen with real-time spectrum scope and waterfall, smooth satellite operation with 99 satellite channels, dual watch operation, and full duplex operation in satellite mode. Visually seize the VHF-UHF world with ICOM's IC9700. Heard it, worked it, logged it. ICOM's IC7300 is a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. This innovative HF transceiver digitizes RF before various receiver stages to reduce the generated inherent noise in different IF stages. The IC7300 is the radio that changed the way entry-level HF is designed. With RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time lifetime spectrum scope, and SD memory card slot. The real HF fun starts here. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
The grass may be greener on the other side, but at least we don't have to mow it. You're listening to Ham Talk Live with Neil Rapp.
Welcome back to Ham Talk Live. Tonight, Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, joins us on the Orlando Amateur Radio Club and Hamcation Zoom line. Ham Radio's Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. Is from Picayune, Mississippi. You know him from Amateur Radio Newsline and Ham Nation. He's a native of Shawnee, Oklahoma, and first licensed in 1995, and he's an extra class license holder and an active volunteer examiner, and a good friend of the show and a good friend of mine. Don, welcome back.
Well, thank you, Neil. It's lovely to be on the show tonight. It's been a while, and I'm thrilled that you asked me to come on and talk about something that is near and dear to all of our hearts. That, of course, being the Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Amateur Radio Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And if nothing else, it was an excuse to have you on the show. So anyway, we do have
an excuse.
Like I need an excuse. Exactly.
Exactly.
So we do have, another, award coming up, and, looks like we'll talk about it here in a little bit. Looks like, good chance Huntsville's going to happen this year. So, the presentation, is traditionally at Huntsville. So, we'll talk about that a little bit, but let's bring everybody up to speed here on the, background on the award and what it sets out to do.
Well, Newsline, as you know, is in its fourth decade, and the Young Ham of the Year Award was the idea of Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF, who we lost 6 years ago, sadly. It was his idea to honor youth in ham radio and to promote amateur radio amongst the youth. And because, the youth is the lifeblood of any hobby or vocation or avocation or whatever. You constantly have to have new blood to replace those that fall away for various reasons, whether silent key or just getting out of the hobby or whatever. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. You have to have new people come in constantly just to keep the churn going. And that was one of the things. Plus, Bill was just really, really big on education, huge on education. And so he decided to come up with this award to honor an outstanding radio amateur. And the first award was 1986. I'm happy to say the winner was Sean Allen Wakefield, WK5P of Bartlesville, Oklahoma, my home state. So he was the 1986 Young Ham of the Year Award, and we've given the award every year with the exception of 2014 when we did not present the award that year. And as you may recall, I believe 2014 was also the year that the Dayton Amateur Radio Association did not award a Dayton Amateur of the Year.
Yeah, Amateur of the Year.
They had some kind of a discrepancy with the person who was originally named, and they pulled that award back, and therefore did not give that award. And so Bill decided that we were not going to do an award that year, only for the reason that the 2 or 3 finalists were so close in qualifications that literally you could not pick between them. It would have been, okay, put 3 pieces of paper up on the wall, put a blindfold on yourself, spin around 10 times, and throw a dart. And whichever one it hits that's the winner. And we decided that rather than give the award away just for the sake of giving the award away, Bill felt that might lessen the award in some way, cheapen it or whatever. And so we didn't want to give the award away just for the sake of giving the award away. So we didn't that year, but we have. And, of course, Christopher Bro, KD8YVJ of Ohio, a good friend of ours and yours and everybody else's. Chris is such a cool kid. Was the 2020 winner, and very proud that even though we did not have a Huntsville Hamfest in the 2020 COVID year, that we were thrilled and honored to be able to present that award to him at yours and Julie's wedding. So thank you for allowing us to do that. But that's kind of in a nutshell
Absolutely.
what the award is. It seeks to honor youth and excellence in amateur radio, and it celebrates a young person who has done something amazing with amateur radio to either further the state of the art of amateur radio or do something really cool for mankind with amateur radio. And that's the whole idea of the award.
Yeah, it's an award that's near and dear to my heart. I remember, hearing about it on Newsline, and thinking, gee, wish they would have had that when I was a kid. And, and now, I've nominated, some people for this and had a couple of former students, involved and winning the award and just, been, more and more, connected with the award. I'll say, I won't say involved because I'm not on the award committee and do that kind of intentionally because I have students who, from time to time are nominated. So I want to keep the distance out of that for now. But,
right.
We had, Patrick Lysandru here, KC9UUS a few years ago, win it, from Bloomington High School South. And, and now he's off, shooting off rockets for this little startup called SpaceX.
Boy, he's gone a long way, hasn't he? I'm so proud of him. He's amazing. Patrick, and the whole Lysandru family, just amazing. And I've gotten to know a lot of the families. Of course, the Bros, Chris's mom and dad, I've gotten to know them really, really well. The Rascals, Bryant Rascal, KG5HVO, 2018 winner. I've gotten to know that family really well. The Lysandrus really well, and they've just become really, really good friends. And it's amazing. My wife has constantly said, I'm in my 25th year, I guess now, 26th, I guess, of being a licensed ham now. And she said, when you got into this, she said this many times, when you got into this back in 94, when you took your test, I thought, okay, well, this will be the hobby of the week or the hobby of the month. And a couple of months he'll be off on some other quest to fill his free time. And now, 25, 26 years later, it's amazing, how much amateur radio has, enriched my life. My son is now licensed. Dawn was working on hers back when Tyler was born 21 years ago, but she never did complete it and probably won't now. But Huntsville Hamfest is one of the highlights of her years. I mean, she loves going to the Huntsville Hamfest, and it's become a big part of her life as well. And so, yeah, this is the best avocation I think that a person could have in the world is amateur radio. Just so many different ways you can go and different avenues you can go down and follow, and different niches that you can get into. That if you're ever bored in this hobby, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could have gone for ham radios in green cars.
Yeah, I do have a green car fetish. That's true. Green cars and red guitars.
Oh, there we go. That sounds like a country song.
Yeah, it was that
green cars and
red neck, white socks, and blue ribbon beer, or whatever it is. Yeah,
there you go. Well, it was so cool, to make the trip down to Huntsville, pretty much every year. I've had to miss a few for this or that reason, but I try to go down there every year, and it's mainly for this event, the presentation of the Young Ham of the Year award, and so last year when we couldn't do it, and all of a sudden I get this phone call from you saying, "Hey, can we do this at the wedding? Because everybody's going to be there." I'm like, "Wait a minute, you're coming?" And it's like, yeah. So it was
one of those things where
it was pretty great to have it at your own wedding. You're the backup option, I guess, but
that was
work.
Cool. I mean, So thank you so much for letting us do that. Dawn and I were sitting out on the back deck, and we were talking about how much we're going to miss Huntsville this year, and how much that we would, I said I would really like to go up to Neil and Julie's wedding, and she's like, well, we've got a little bit of money on the side, we could easily do that. You've got vacation time, why don't we just go? And it's like, okay, we're going. And so that's kind of how that went. And then once we realized we were going, it's like, okay, well, the bros are going to be there. And what was really cool was Christopher did not tell his mom and dad that he had won. And so they found out when I presented the award, when I handed it to him across the table. That's when they found out that he had won. So that was a really cool. It was a really unique way to present an award. It really was. At a wedding, with face masks on and wearing a kilt. It was just
yes, it was.
It was a lot of fun. That was a good time.
And I will admit that no, I was not present for the award ceremony itself because I had other things that were a little more important
busy
that day. But we did get a picture or two afterwards, and it was just really cool because, like you said, everybody was there that needed to be there, and so we made it work. So this year
we really didn't have a formal ceremony because I mean, obviously the main attraction was your wedding, and I wasn't going to go up and do anything to take away from your wedding. So just whatever we had at the table was our ceremony. And it was, friends and family, and that's kind of, it worked out perfectly. That's the way that it was perfect for 2020. Now, in 2021, we're going to be back on the main stage at Huntsville at 3:00 in the afternoon or 2:00, whatever time it is. I don't even remember now. And we will present the award. And, of course, Chris will be there, and we'll bring him up as well, and so we'll kind of have a 2-for-1 deal. Yep,
looking forward to it. And Mark Brown, N4BCD, the chairman of Huntsville's already texted me. In fact, if you heard the text, because I forgot to silence my phone a while ago, that was Mark saying, yes, Huntsville will happen. So yes,
love that guy.
We're looking
Mark.
forward to it.
Appreciate you and everybody at Huntsville, Mark. We love you. We love being there. Love being part of the family.
So we're excited to have that back in action and be able to do the award ceremony again for whoever is awarded that honor this year. So how do people get nominated for this, and what should they be doing?
It's very, very simple. What you need to do is have a young amateur in mind who you think deserves this honor. And it is not the easiest award to win. There is a nominating form that you fill out, and it is many pages long. This is not a, hey, my kid's an 8-year-old extra, give him a radio kind of an award. You earned this award, which is why we did not give one away in 2014. We didn't want to cheapen it. So you go to our website, arnewsline.org, and right under the big Amateur Radio Newsline banner, you'll see a row of buttons. News Extra Staff Awards. That's the one you want to click on. When you click on Awards, it will bring you to a drop-down menu, and it says 2021 YHOTY form. You click on that, and it says the Young Ham of the Year for 2021 nomination form. Please download and submit via email your choice for the 2021 Young Ham of the Year award. Download the form here. You click on that, and it downloads a Microsoft Word document, a docx file, and you fill that in with all of your supporting information, and you mail that back to us. And all the information that you need to know is right there on the form. I'm pulling it up right now. There are, like I said, several pages, and if you need to add more, of course, you make it as comprehensive as you possibly can. Newsline at arnewsline.org is the submission. That's the only way we're accepting. We are not accepting mail-ins, only email submissions. Microsoft Word or Adobe PDF format or scanned paper documents in JPEG form, as long as we can see them, before May 31st, 2021. That is the deadline. Midnight Eastern time, because we are based in New York. May 31st, 2021 is the deadline, midnight Eastern time. Get those back to us, and we will email you back saying that we got it. And from there, the judging committee goes behind closed doors and sequesters themselves, and they synchronize their watches and do whatever it is that they need to do, and they come up with an award winner, and then we all meet in Huntsville to present the award.
Looking forward to it, and like you said, it's got to be someone who's really contributed to amateur radio. It's not, well, I run a net. That's good. That's important.
Right.
But, this award is a little more than that. Actually, it's a lot more than that.
Running the Thursday night Ragchew net is not going to get you the award. However, being a net control operator for the Florida wildfires several years ago, that got someone the award. A young person was actually net control for the Florida wildfires. Oh, I can't even remember what year it was. It was some time ago, but that got them the award. The first Young Ham of the Year that I met was Kevin Boudreau, N5XMH. He was the 1993 winner, and what got him the award? He's from New Orleans. Hurricane Andrew, I believe it was, came through back in 1993, and as a brand new technician, Kevin was at a Red Cross shelter, and there was nobody from the Red Cross really there in charge. It was just he was one of those people who were there trying to shelter from the storm. Well, the wind blew the roof off, and he got the word out via his 2-meter handheld and made sure that kept everybody safe and got the word out and got the emergency response people in to get everybody out of harm's way. That's the kind of public service that gets you the award. Let's see. I'm looking over the winners. I'm trying to think who did what. There's just, it seems like every year it's so hard to pick a winner, because every year it's like the bar is raised every year.
Well, let's see.
We had one
Aaron
winner,
King
I remember,
sent
who
stuff to space.
Yeah, right, exactly. And Andrew Koenig, KE5GDB in 2009 as a young ham in Houston. I believe his dad worked for NASA, and Andrew was always hanging out down there. And Andrew was training astronauts in how to operate amateur radio and helping get them licensed. We had another young ham winner, who Toby Metz, I believe it was, KB7 UIM of Boise, Idaho, 1996. Toby was teaching amateur radio to deaf people. And you think, well, now, how does that work? well, packet radio, obviously, keyboard to keyboard, doing it on a computer. But he was able to put such a sense of excitement into one particular person who got licensed that this person actually put a deaf person, could not hear anything. I believe had been deaf since birth, but this ham put a 2-meter radio in his car, and it would be on, and he would watch the S meter. He would watch the activity, and occasionally, when activity dropped down, he would pick up his microphone and he would say, as best he could, his call sign into the microphone. The only way he knew if anyone was coming back was watching the action on that S meter. But he was so in love with amateur radio through Toby Metz, who was teaching these deaf people about amateur radio. Brian Milshowski, N5 ZGT of Albuquerque, now very high up in the ARRL. There are just some just amazing young people that we've crossed paths with over the years. One more amazing than the other, it seems like.
Yeah, some amazing talent out there, and so if you know of someone of that caliber, then get a hold of that person and nominate on the forum. Again, it's arnewsline.org. Go to the awards, and there are 2 awards now from Newsline, so you have to look for the Young Ham of the Year YHOTY button there, and we'll get that done. And looking forward to Huntsville and maybe a trip to the barbecue place again.
That'd be fun. Fun. I like that. I have so many cool memories of these winners. I can remember one of the winners, and I'll not mention his name. I don't even think he's an active ham anymore. But back when we were, one of the prizes was a week at Space Camp Huntsville, and he almost got kicked out of Space Camp because he. How can I put this delicately? He attempted an unauthorized docking maneuver with a female camper.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Consensual, but nonetheless, they frown on that type of fraternization. And I can also remember a really cool memory of. Let me see. I'm looking for the name here. Allison Zetwak, KD4CKP of Louisville, Kentucky, was the winner in 1994, and now her dad became the Young Ham of the Year chairman. Anyway, Allison had a little brother named Evan, and Evan was just a little guy, probably, 6 or 7 back then. And Evan was adopted, so he and I shared that, and so we bonded immediately. And I was teaching Evan how to do cannonballs in the pool behind the hotel. And just had the best time. Well, sadly, we lost Evan this year. Way, way, way too young. So our hearts go out to the Zetwak family. Evan was just the coolest guy, a really cool kid, and became just an amazing young man, husband and father, and sadly lost his life way too young. So we're thinking of the Zetwaks tonight as we relive some of the memories of the Young Ham of the Year.
Yeah, very good. Well, we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we're going to open up the phone lines and take a look at the tweets and the comments and all that kind of thing, and see what else we can talk about tonight here. So give us a call. It's 859-982-7373, and I'll be back with Dawn right after this word from Tower Electronics right here on Ham Talk Live.
Jerry, what's up, man? I haven't seen you at Sunbucks in a while. I used to see you every morning getting coffee. What's up?
Well, I can't afford Sunbucks 5 days a week anymore. I had to spend my money on PL259s. You know, those antenna projects I've been meaning to do. I had to do them before my HOA finds out I have antennas.
That's too bad, Jerry. I miss seeing you and catching up over coffee. You should get your PL259s from Tower Electronics. They have great stuff. Jerry, you're back. Oh, QRM Heterodyne Frappuccino. That's a good choice. How's it going? Did you get all those antennas up before the HOA police showed up?
Yeah, I got them all done. Thanks for telling me about Tower Electronics. Now I can have my coffee. I just saved a bunch of money on my PL259s by switching to Tower Electronics.
Don't get caught without PL259s. Visit Tower Electronics online at pl-259.com or at a Hamfest near you. Or give them a call at 920-435-2973. And be sure to pick up some power poles, adapters, and cables too.
Join the conversation. Give us a call at 859-982-7373. Again, the number to call is 859-982-7373. Or, if you'd rather type than talk, tweet us at Ham Talk Live. Now, here's Neil Rapp with more Ham Talk Live.
You are listening to Ham Talk Live, the #1 podcast amongst all podcasts with the words ham, talk, and live in the title. And now, here's your host, amateur radio's own Neil Rapp.
Welcome back to Ham Talk Live. Thanks to Tower Electronics for sponsoring the show. They do that every week. And they have a few Hamfests scheduled. But, of course, you can find them online at pl-259.com. Coming up, they've got Sandwich, Illinois on May 2nd. And then up in Michigan, they have Newberry, Michigan, June 12th, and Monroe, Michigan, June 20th. But as always, give them a click at pl-259.com. And Ham Talk Live is on the air every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time at hamtalklive.com. And be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And before we go back to Don, it's time once again for the Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week within 9 GSU.
Now it's time for the Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week, the part of the show where Rick tells us a ham radio joke. The Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week is brought to you by QRM Labs. Now, here's Rick Garrett in 9 GSU with today's Ham Talk Live Joke of the Week.
I bought a new shortwave receiver, and on the box it says built-in antenna. I've been looking all over the globe, and I cannot figure out where antenna is.
This has been the Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week with Rick Garrett in 9 GSU. Tune in again next week for another joke from Rick.
Oh, my goodness. I should have had your mic turned up, Don.
Ham radio dad jokes. Oh my God. That's brilliant.
Is an antenna on the DXCC list?
It ought to be. How do you spell DXCC? That's just the worst I've ever heard. Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. He's done it again. All right. Well, thanks, Rick. And yes, there'll be another dad joke next week, probably. But anyway, thanks, Rick, for doing that.
We can't stop him now.
Yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, it's too late. All right, well, give us a call, 859-982-7373. Now is the time to call if you would like to chime in tonight, or you can tweet us. It's at Ham Talk Live. And if you're listening to us on WTWW or on the podcast edition, you won't be able to reach us since we're doing this on a Thursday night. So it's probably not Thursday night when you're listening. So anyway, let's see if we get anything here in the comments also on Spreaker and the tweets. And we haven't had you on the show in a while. We've talked about the award, but you're in the middle of some intensive studies. So
yeah,
how are the studies going?
I'm in the midst of a career change at age 60, which is, quite frankly, frightening as it can possibly be.
You're 60?
Yeah,
I thought you were 40.
No, my career was 40, slightly over. No, yeah, I was. Yeah, I'll be 61 in September. So, my broadcasting career came to an end, and there is nothing in my career path, period. A lot of it due to COVID, with advertising revenue down. A lot of good people in broadcasting lost their jobs. In fact, COVID is one reason why Ham Nation is no longer on the TWiT network. We're now on the Ham Radio Crash Course channel on YouTube, because the TWiT network dropped several shows and had to lay off a bunch of people. They just didn't have the ad revenue coming in. So COVID has really just knocked a lot of people for a loop, not only personally and health-wise, but professionally as well. And I'm one of those. But life goes on. So, yeah, I'm studying for my second career at 60, and we're looking at a career in real estate. So seems like that seems to be the common career path after broadcasting is real estate. So we're working on that. Should be taking the license test here before too much longer. I wanted to mention before we go too farther along, before I forget about it. All of us at Ham Nation or at Newsline are available to Zoom in to your club meeting. And in fact, I'm doing one on Saturday morning with the Stillwater, Minnesota Amateur Radio Club up there. So if you'd like any of the Newsline or Ham Nation people to Zoom in to your club meeting, including Bob Heil or George or any of the rest of us who are still around, just send us an email, and we'll be more than happy to do that for any club, anywhere, anytime.
Yep, I've done a couple of those as well, and it's always a lot of fun to see how some other clubs do things. Everybody has their own little take on how things go, and it's always interesting to see those. Well, let's see. We talked about the real estate thing. So if you're in Mississippi and you need some real estate now.
Well, Louisiana. I live in Mississippi, but I'm going to be licensed in Louisiana. So.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. If you need something, Don's your man. All right. Well, Don, before we go, the clock here is ticking, but let me reach out again here for the phone number 859-982-7373 is the phone number. We have just a couple of minutes left, so if you want to give us a call, now's the time to do that. But there was one other thing that I wanted to throw out here, and this is a new award that I hadn't heard of, and even in the email it said, if you haven't heard of this award, it's new. That's why you haven't heard about it. But there's a new Amateur Radio Software Award, and the 2021 winner has been named. It's Jordan Shear, KN4CRD. He wrote the JS8 call application, And the award aims to promote amateur radio software development, which adheres to the same spirit as amateur radio itself: innovative, free, and open. And if you're interested in the award or submitting nominations for the award next year, you can go to arsaward.com, and that's from Rich, K0EB. So, Rich, thanks for letting us know about that. And I think that's on Newsline this week as well, which I think I just saw.
Congratulations, Jordan.
Here. Yeah, I think I saw on my phone here that it's just been released. So there's a new Newsline out now.
Oh, very good.
So, yeah, congratulations to Jordan. I know Jordan's done a lot with that.
That's a cool award.
Yeah, there's there's so much that's worked its way in from the computer world into ham radio. I can remember a world without computers, but that was one of the very first things that kind of interfaced ham radio into the digital world. And I had one of those, Commodore VIC-20s and put that thing on ready. And that was my second computer. It was pretty early on that, the computer got hooked up to the ham radio, and it hasn't been the same since. There's just so many things that you can do.
Now look where we are, Neil. Now with software-defined radios, the radio is the computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's seamlessly, a USB cable from the back of your rig to the back of your desktop or laptop computer or Raspberry Pi or whatever, or even Bluetooth connected via your Android or your iOS device for some things. It's just absolutely amazing. And now, you look at the ICOM 705, it has built-in Wi-Fi. It has its own Wi-Fi connection to connect a computer to. So it's a brave new world. I mean, ham radio is no longer, and it hasn't been this for a long time, but I think it kind of had the perception to people who are not in the know, who hear the word ham radio and think, wow, is that still around? The first thing they think of is maybe, an old Munsters episode, or they think of the old stereotype of an old guy pounding out Morse code in his basement, with goofy looking headphones on or whatever. And it ain't that way. This is not your grandfather's amateur radio anymore. This is a brave new world, and it's bleeding edge technology. Amateur radio has always been bleeding edge technology. When you look at some of the things that have come from amateur radio, cell phones, for one thing. That cell phone technology came directly from amateur radio. But it's always been bleeding edge technology, and even more so now that everything has gone digital.
I remember that I hated logging so much. It was all on paper. Yeah, I still don't exactly like it, but oh my gosh, it's so much easier now that you just type it in and, it fills in half the stuff for you. I finally got the frequency thing hooked up the other day to where it drops the frequency into the log right before the last man standing thing. I got that, actually is in the middle of that. I got it working. And it's just so much better. It's still logging, but And
if you work an FT8 or something like that, you just double click on the call sign and it fills in everything on the log.
Yeah.
So but yeah, back the days of paper logs. When I do a log, I tend to still do a paper log. Like if I'm doing a special event or chasing some DX or something, I still tend to just write things down, and then later on, if I have to, I'll fill in some form to get some wallpaper or something if I'm going for that. But I've never been a big logger. Yeah. But it's a lot easier now with the digital age.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So congratulations to Jordan on the software award. And as we wrap things up here, remind everyone about the Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award.
Yep, nominations are now open through May 31st, arnewsline.org. Click on that awards tab, and it's the first thing you see, Young Ham of the Year 2021, and that is the nominating form. Fill that out and email it back to us at the address on the form, newsline at arnewsline.org, and hopefully we'll be honoring your young ham coming up in August in Huntsville, Alabama. And Neil, we're so good that we've answered everyone's questions. Nobody needed to call in. Nobody needed to tweet. We're just that good.
We're that good, exactly. If I could say that probably every day in class. It's like, okay, any questions? And everybody just sits there, and it's like,
that's right. Well,
okay, so
my work here is done.
Can somebody make one up at least?
That's right. That's right. You're as smart as you're going to get. So my work here is done.
Well, next week here on the show, we're going to have some young people. Not quite as young as the Young Ham of the Year Award winners, because that cuts off at age 18. But we have some 20-somethings that are going to be here from the other side of the world. Philip Springer, DK6SP, Marcus Grober, DL8GM, and Tommy Varro, HA8RT, will be up at midnight or 1 o'clock or whenever it is over there next week here on Ham Talk Live to talk about this new Youngsters on the Air contest that was just announced. It's going to be 3 times a year, so more young ham stuff next week. So be sure to tune in for that. So, Don, thank you for being here and talking about a variety of things tonight, but especially the award, and got about a month and a half left to nominate somebody. So hopefully we'll get some good nominations.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Always do. We always get a really good crop of young people every year. Neil, thank you so much for the invite. Really appreciate you, your friendship, and what you've done for amateur radio since you were 5 years old and the youngest licensed ham back then. And really appreciate yours and Julie's friendship.
Well, we appreciate yours as well, and say hello to your lovely bride as well. And,
I shall.
And Mr. TMW, and
yep.
And we'll be talking to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Neil.
All right, that is a wrap for this week's Ham Talk Live. Thanks to my guest Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, and everybody out there in cyberspace for listening. And invite you back next Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, when Philip, Marcus, and Tommy will be here to talk about that new Yoda contest. And for a list of our upcoming guests, visit hamtalklive.com. And if you like the show, please leave us a review. That helps others find us faster. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.